All right, let's dive into this really kind of interesting, unique, and cool custom knife from Keeling Customs. Now, Gabriel Keeling is a tattoo artist for about 15 plus years. He has been doing a lot of hand engraving work, which is not represented here, but he's been doing hand engraving since 2020. And he's done some really cool stuff. And I will put a link to his Instagram down below. He is here in the San Francisco Bay Area, so local to me. So I will be nice and kind to him in this review of one of the very first knives he's ever made, start to finish. So let's take that into account as we start to dive into this. He's a super cool guy. This came to me from Guri, a friend of mine down in Bakersfield, who sends a lot of knives in for me to review and send back to him. But Gabriel Keeling is here in the San Francisco Bay Area, as I mentioned. And so at some point, hopefully, we'll get together for lunch or something and be able to talk more about knives and stuff. But he's engraved. He's got some pictures on his Instagram where he has hand engraved an entire revolver. He engraves a lot of different materials on knife scales, tattoo machines, that sort of scroll work. And hand engraving is super cool, super tedious to me. And I am in awe that people can do that and not mess it up. Like, seriously, if you're engraving this whole thing with like fleur-de-lis pattern and whatnot, you start here, you get to here, and you make a mistake, well, you need a new scale. Yeah, very tedious, very meticulous. So as he transitions those skills into knife making, I think he's going to have something. It's going to take a little time. Now remember, prototype, one of the first knives he's ever made. So there are some things I would suggest differently. Okay? And several of these things is items I've already talked to him about as we've been chatting. So here is a little bit of information. He literally just made this not even a month ago. What is it now? It's 10/27 today. So he made this literally 20 days ago, give or take. It's a cool knife. Let's dive into some of the specs. Now it's 5 inches closed, 8 5/8 overall with a 3.65 inch blade. Blade steel is Baker Forge and Tool Firestorm. Now what's interesting is this is different than their Firestorm Surge pattern apparently, because I just did a custom chef knife for my son's wedding, which I just posted a unboxing video the other day. I hope you saw it. It's such cool. It's my secret project number 2 unboxing. And it was also Baker Forge Firestorm Surge pattern. So it's a little bit different than this one, but this is copper shims. So it's multiple layers of steel with copper in alternating layers is basically how they do this. Okay. What is squeaking in my house here? I can hear something squeaking, but anyway, back to you guys. All right. So titanium liners, skiff bearings, titanium hardware, fat carbon backspacer and scales. It is the dark matter fat carbon material. Yeah, overall thickness is 0.646, so it's a bit chunky. He also used the same Firestorm steel for the pocket clip. Now, we get to the first problem. The pocket clip just flat out doesn't work. And the squeaking is birds outside now, I can hear. Just because I know you guys were all curious and wondering what was squeaking in my house. The pocket clip, quite frankly, just doesn't work and is unfortunate. There's like no give. It's so short. You can't get it into your pocket. You get it in your pocket, you can't get it back out. Like, it's a mess. And I told him that. And this is going to go back to him and get reworked for sure. Now, one thing, it does have hidden hardware, so the screws are coming in from the backside of the carbon fiber through the titanium liners into the pocket clip. I would like to see, as he evolves, that he does blind holes. Those are harder to do. That's why some makers don't do it, because you're seeing the end of the hardware. I would prefer to not see that. Just cut it a little bit short. Don't drill all the way through. Just thread it that way. Come in from the backside and you're good. It takes a lot more work that way because you got to figure out your screw depth, your length of screw, and all that. So it is more work, but it is ultimately a better finished product. In this case, I would almost rather see the heads of the hardware countersunk going down into the fat carbon and the titanium if it were me. Looks cleaner. And you could use these same button head type screws, countersink it into the pocket clip and go down. Let me know in the comments what your thought is on that. Would you rather see it this way or see the head of the screw going down into? It's probably 50-50. Thumb stud locations. It's really hard to get to. As you saw me do it earlier, it does work. I can thumb it open, but you're it's not a natural position. That one I misfired because I was trying to show. It's not really a natural position for your thumb. For me, I would like a little more spacing. What that would mean is having to cut a bigger relief into the scales because it's almost touching. Now, if there wasn't this chamfered edge on it, it would be unusable, but there is, so it is obviously usable. You just saw me use it. But the flipper tab works fantastic. The detent is pretty nice. I can't really complain about that. The sharpness on this, it's not that sharp. He is still working on his sharpening technique with Damascus steel. It's different because, and I don't sharpen, so I can't really speak from experience, but it is a different animal. Sharpening a Damascus blade because of the multiple layers of steel, the different makeup, the different actual materials and hardnesses of steels in this Damascus pattern make sharpening different. Okay. So, but he is working on that. He knows that this needs a sharpening redo, and he knows it needs a new pocket clip, and he is glad and willing to do that. He was also glad that it was coming to me to review because he does follow my channel and he appreciates my way of explaining the good and the bad. So very neutral handle, feels great in the hand. Pocket clip feels good. This one finger groove here works really well, regardless of your size of your hand. If you had gloves on or anything like that, that would work perfectly well. The action on it, it is skiff bearings, but it's not drop shutty, but it works. It's a nice controlled close, and I like that. Drop shut like this guy here, the North Arm Skaha. That's not my thing. It's a little bit too drop shutty. The Holt Spectre that became famous for drop shuttiness, not my thing. I like a slower, controlled, hydraulic type of close. And this works for me. Maybe a little bit smoother if I had my choice, but that's okay. It's perfectly fine. I like the titanium hardware. I like that he's local. I like that he's small and just starting out, because what that means is you can talk to him about what you want. If you want to change the shape up a little bit, if you want to use different materials, I'm sure he's going to be amenable to that. So you can hit him up and say, hey, I've got this slab of material at my house. Would you be willing to make a knife out of it? Chances are, and I don't want to speak for him, he'll probably say yes. If you tell me you want your pocket clip, half an inch longer because of whatever, you want to rant, like, he is totally open, because I've talked to him, with ideas and suggestions. If you want titanium scales that are all engraved, he got you there for sure. So, Gabriel Keeling, thank you for allowing Guri to send this to me. Not the choice, but he opened it. He was welcome to it. He reached out to me and said, hey, I know Guri is sending you my knife. Here's a couple things. I already know about the pocket clip, so on and so forth. So he's been really great to talk to. We will have him on the EDC Hour, my live stream, that is every other Sunday, usually. Sometimes life gets in the way. Every other Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. That was the Spider Codelica. Since I pulled out the North Arm Skaha, let's throw that in there. This is also fat carbon. This is Mars Landing, I think. I don't remember. They've got so many different names for all this carbon fiber stuff. And how about a little tiny guy that I haven't filmed yet? And I don't even remember the name of it. But this is a little shilling type knife, I believe it is. From my buddy Kyle that I still need to film. I don't know. It's kind of a neat little thing. So there you go. Thank you all for watching. Please come back tomorrow for another video. We've already passed the 10,000 subscriber mark. Woo, woo, woo. So in December, we will be doing a big giveaway. I'm talking to a couple of custom knife makers right now to see what I can work out for some cool epic giveaways. So that's going to start around the end of November. Give it a week or two to run. And then around December 11th, well, on December 11th is when I will be pulling winners and doing a live stream. Because December 11th will be my 5-year anniversary here on YouTube posting videos. So I figured that would be a great time to celebrate both the 10,000 subscriber milestone as well as the 5-year milestone by doing a giveaway on the 5-year anniversary. So please stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss it. Trust me. If we even get close to what I'm coming up with in my mind, it's going to be epic. It will be a giveaway that you have not probably seen before. So stay tuned. Comment epic down below if you made it this far. And thank you all very much.